We didn't quite know what was happening. My father always was a very courageous man, and you weren't going to tell him that he cannot walk on the streets of Germany. And he went downtown, and I remember him coming back quite shaken up. We went home. We did not make light in the apartment, and we went to bed immediately. And in the middle of the night, they came pounding on the front door. I remember that. And the fear that this instills in a child is a feeling of fear that never in your life can you forget. That feeling of fear is always there.
So I walked around quite a bit. I must have known that one of these days I have to talk about it. So I saw horrendous things. I saw people being made to wash the sidewalk and being beaten just with a whip, as I said. There was no authority that you could report to. That was the awful thing. This was accepted that they were supposed to do that. And the police had absolutely no authority after what happened in that march. There were some very good people, too, that give you a phone call, said, "We're sorry about all this. Are you all right? Do you need help?" There was a lot of that going on. I don't think you hear enough of that, how many kindnesses there were committed by people.
My family, mother and father, both felt very much that they were Germans. They were not Jewish. They were Germans first, Germans second, German third, and then they were of the Jewish religion. In 1938, we were kicked out of our apartment. We received a letter, I think it was November of 1938, and these guys had the nerve to write that the Aryan renters in this apartment building can no longer accept the fact that they have to live with a Jew under the same roof. And please leave as soon as you can. You got 14 days to find another place. Now, that affects you personally. You know, I mean, there's no way out about it. We had paid always our rent on time and never done any reason, but then the Aryan renters, who probably knew nothing about it because it was written by the association who owned the building, but those are things which hit you personally. Kristallnacht to me was difficult for me to associate with the type of Germans my parents talked about. I'll give you a story. One day I was standing at the street corner. I was trying to cross the street. There was a red light, so I waited. And suddenly I heard a music, a pipe and drum type music, and a bunch of Hitler youth came by. Neat, orderly, had a flag, they had their brown belts on, they had their little daggers, which had the words blood and honor written onto them. And I stood there in the sidewalk, and I said, why in the blazes can I not march with them? Now, you know, if you're looking back and saying maybe you're lucky you didn't, and sure, but at that moment, standing on that corner, I wanted with all my heart to be part of this group of young Hitler youth who were marching by there, looking healthy, happy, content, determined, and I want to be part of this. And not being able, I went home and told my mother that story. And of course she said, well, you haven't missed anything, you know. And but she understood. She understood. Because she too wanted to be German.
School actually was an oasis. Once we entered the school doors closed behind us. It was a different world. Forgot all the bad times, the harassment. But one thing I never realized, that the teachers were heroes. They came to school every day. Eventually at the light of imminent deportation, they still taught us. I didn't realize that by being true to the profession, they were everyday heroes. Now I realize what they have done, and I'm eternally grateful. I remember the Latin teacher. I remember him distinctly. His name was Königsberger. We called him Klopst because there's a very dish, Königsberger dumplings. And while he was quite rotund, at least at the beginning, we called him Klops. He taught Latin. He taught it well. I'm embarrassed how much I have forgotten. He always came in, rocking on his heels, and called out a sentence to be translated. And then he looked around and called on someone. And very often he looked at the front row, and there were sitting two timid girls, Gisela and Gisa, and it always happened. He asked the question, and then Guy, drawing it out, and the two girls in anticipation. And then the second syllable, sa was a la, then one girl. They didn't have to be concerned. They were excellent students. They both perished. And Klops, the teacher, perished too. Yes, I remember. A wonderful teacher.
At that time, my mother and one more family were the only Jewish people left in that little town. And we had a dentist there who was our dentist actually, but became a very, very big official Nazi in the party. And he wanted our property very badly. And when the war broke out in 1939, I think he hired a few people, and they just took my mother out and beat her up. And she had no choice, she had to leave. We have to be aware of what's happening around us. We have to be alert, and really, I don't think anything like this can happen again. I cannot believe it. I can't believe it. I have to tell the people what happened, so they know it shouldn't happen again. It should never happen again, something like that. Be aware of your neighbors, be aware of what's happening around you. It's terrible when you live under dictatorship, awful. Even if you're not discriminated against, any dictatorship is terrible.
I die.